The Warthog by Holtzman Gorilla. It's about 9¼ inches overall, 4¼ inch D2 steel blade, 0.16 inches thick. I'd call this a full flat grind, meaning that the grind starts here, goes all the way down to your final edge. I love flat grind. It's one of my favorites. It's easy to sharpen, in my opinion, and also with the full flat grind, then the grind itself isn't getting in the way of some of the more acute angles for a cut. If, for example, you had a knife, the grind starts halfway down, has to be a steeper grind, but if it's a thick knife like this in particular, then some of the acute angles you'd want for like a really fine cut, you're hitting your own grind. But with a full grind all the way up to the top here, you don't have that issue. So for bushcraft and survival, a lot of times you want the big, beefy, thick spine like that for strength. Okay, that's really good to have. But with knives without the full grind, then it's not as good for delicate tasks. You know, as for example, if you had like a thin knife, as thin as like a kitchen paring knife, or a small pocket knife like a Swiss Army knife, those can be good for delicate tasks. You have a big, beefy knife, sometimes not. But this, everything has advantages and disadvantages, but I just love the full flat grind for kind of the best of both worlds. Has a point, but it's not such an acute point that if I'm using it in a rough way that I'm being concerned about snapping that off. That would be really close to impossible, I would think. But if I wanted to drill things with that point, I believe I could. Has the Gorilla logo on the blade. Comes with a Kydex sheath. That's really nice looking in my opinion. I love that. Has the Tech Lock type attachment on the back with a handy push button. That way you can put it on your belt or take it off your belt without taking your belt off. Has a holder for the ferro rod, that's included. Has a bit of shock cord so you don't lose it. And a scraper for the ferro rod. Has their logo, Gorilla logo. Snaps in there securely. Then for retention of the knife, you have this leather strap with the snap and the snap retention of the sheath. And the snaps in, I mean, not going anywhere. And it's good to have this leather strap included in case you want it, jumping out of a plane or whatever you're doing. So you think you need that more retention, you can have it. I don't think I need that, so one of the first things I'm going to do is take that off. It's removable if you so choose, and they even include this Allen wrench that has the Phillips screwdriver tip on that side. So all these screws are Phillips. Okay, leather straps off. That's how I like to have it set up. Just if I'm around camp doing a bunch of tasks and need a knife now and then, I just like to be able to grab it quickly. Okay, I did the batoning first. Let's check the damage. No damage to the blade at all. Got a little sap on there, of course. So after all that rough use, still got your razor sharp edge. Just easily creating all kinds of shavings. Fine shavings. All ferro rods I've seen come with a protective coating. So you have to take your scraper and start to get through that coating. There we go. Now I'm ready to rock. Works very well in my opinion, as you've just seen. Just a few minutes of gathering and preparing materials with the knife, then use a ferro rod and scraper, and you got a fire. Excellent. But I'm wondering if I really even need the scraper or if I can use the back of the knife. Seems to be a 90-degree spine, but I haven't actually tested it until now. That's cutting into the ferro rod even more than the scraper. One caution, if you really like to preserve the good looks of your knife, that these sparks are very, very hot enough to mark metal. Maybe you can see a little bit. Could even get some permanent marks on there. So it's up to you. But it's good to have the 90-degree spine, in my opinion, because I can use that as a sort of scraper for wood or a bunch of different uses. Plus, let's say I lost the dedicated scraper on the sheath, I can just use the back of the knife. Thank you again to Holtzman Gorilla for sending me their Warthog knife to review. Very, very nice. I thank you guys for joining me. See you again soon. The Lord is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. Exodus 15:2.